I saw a unrelated note. I saw a Joaquin Phoenix movie last
Oh
night.
yeah,
Um,
he's a good actor.
You Were Never Really There, I think is the name of it.
Mm.
It was really interesting. The movie itself is interesting, but what's more interesting is before I watched it, someone commented, "Oh, this is such a gory movie. Prepare to throw up. This, blah, blah, all this stuff." I'm like, "Oh, wow, okay, let's see what it's all about." And then I'm like, up to 20 minutes left, and I'm like, "Did I miss something?" Like, you know. Then I finished the movie, and I'm like, "What are they talking about?" And then I realized how desensitized I must be. Well, to be fair, there was really not that much. Like, I don't know what this person reviewing the movie was talking about. I mean, yeah, there was a few hammers to the head, but it was like, done in an artistic way where it's like far away. Like it's not in your face violence. And then I thought, I'm like, am I that desensitized to violence that I don't think that that's violent? But I don't know. I still don't think it was that violent. Like Braveheart is way worse. Braveheart, there was like legs coming off, heads chopping. But it's an interesting movie. Joaquin Phoenix. It was a very it was like kind of a slow burn type movie and not a lot of dialogue at times. And if there's anyone who can do that right, it's Joaquin Phoenix. So good.
I saw this movie. It's good.
You liked it?
Yeah, I liked it. I think what it
Yes.
might be when it comes to the goriness is this. So Braveheart was a long time ago, right?
Yeah. 90s, early 90s, mid 90s.
No, no, no. The story,
Um,
the Scottish freedom fighters were there.
yeah.
What's his name again?
William Wallace.
Yeah, William Wallace. All that. This story is very contemporary with these like they call them the not slaves, the trafficking. Yeah,
Yeah, sex trafficking.
sex trafficking is it's such a contemporary issue. That's what I think gets to people right now if they watch it. It really does a good job of showing sex trafficking in today's society. Yeah.
People don't seem to want to watch that stuff.
Oh no, this is real. You see, it's like it
They don't
gets,
want to watch that stuff.
and I like this stuff. I think it's very well done.
Me too.
Like how else is someone supposed to go in and stop these crazy corrupt people who take advantage of little girls? You know, like someone should have done this to Epstein. Just
Yeah.
walk in with a hammer and just smash faces. I mean, what else can you do? You know what I mean? That's what it takes. you know, like it takes some vigilante justice when it's corruption to the highest degree. With government and pedophiles like that.
No, you make a good point. It's like if the system is so corrupt that justice is not possible and there's victims like that, what really is vigilante justice? Like,
Yeah.
is it really vigilante justice or is it just justice?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think I would say the best definition is just to say it is justice, but people have this sort of dependency on governments to make things right and make things better. And I'm not saying that's right, but this is such a complex issue. You know what I mean? People want the government to help them, and they need to get over the fact that, like exactly what you're saying, that you are not going to get justice from people like that. You know, it
What was
needs to be something out of the system that possibly creates anything just out of this, because the
yeah?
system is what perpetuates it.
What was the American Revolution if not an insurrection,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I
So we
mean,
celebrate that. We celebrate that insurrection every July 4th, right? So at the obviously the view is not that it was an insurrection; it was a revolution. You know, it's we're on that side. Get that justice. Right? It's a really well done movie, man.
no, that's a good
I like
movie
it.
for sure.
It's a good movie. It. I think someone was asking me the other day, oh, you don't watch those Marvel movies much. I'm like, no, that doesn't do it for me. It's sometimes those movies are painful to watch.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's like a different form of art. That's how different movies can be. Is like that movie, which is about sex trafficking and how real that can be, is like a completely different form of art from Doctor Strange and magic and his ability to do heroic things with magic. You know what I mean? Like they're like, it's like completely different forms of art, even though yes, they're both movies.
Magic Mike.
Yeah, Magic Mike, right? Like it's just the range of movies is such that you'll get completely different genres, you know? So you have to say stuff like, well, that's not my type of genre, right? Like you don't like stupid movies. You don't like the
Yeah,
superhero movies. You know, that's not
stupid
those
movies
aren't
is
that's
a great
not
way
your
of putting it.
genre.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. It's stupid movies. Yeah.
Yeah. And some people enjoy, like I enjoy every now and again a stupid movie. You know,
Oh, absolutely.
I enjoy
Yeah, you
it.
gotta have some stupidity. Come on now.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Gotta
know.
have some stupidity. Um, I think what it is like with the Marvel movies and just those movies in general, it's you just know what's gonna happen. What are we enjoying here? Are we enjoying like special effects, which is great? That's fine if someone wants to enjoy special. I'm not judging people who like that stuff. Absolutely, no, absolutely not judging them. If that's what you like. I'm sure there's a lot of people who like Marvel movies, and then also like the dark, like truth type movies. It's
Yeah,
just Marvel movies.
I like different types. I like lots of different types of movies. So I totally get people that enjoy the dumb stuff. And enjoy the deeper stuff too.
Yeah,
You know, that's why I think people who really love movies, they can enjoy a wider range. That's how they become like involved in movie making or in
yeah.
writing about movies and all that. So
Like I can't do comedies that much anymore. Like comedy movies.
yeah.
Sorry, me and my friends are funnier than these movies. I'm sorry. It's just not that funny to me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think if last time a movie made me crack up. I did crack up at the Cat Williams stand-up. I'm not gonna lie. He did make me crack up, like almost cry. But
I think Cat Williams I think he's evolved, right? Like he was a little Pikachu, and now he's evolved into I think it's a Raichu or something.
he's a Pokemon.
He's a Pokemon, and now he's evolved into something. And that's what happens. It's interesting. Mike Tyson. This is not comedy, but Mike Tyson's a different person now.
Oh yeah,
Mike
no, for
Tyson is
sure. I
not
mean,
the
we're different
same
people.
human being. Oh, absolutely. Age and
Exactly.
experience, it'll change you. I think Mike Tyson, someone was asking him, like, oh, I forgot what the question was. Something like, what do you want? He's like, something like that. But anyway, the answer was, I just wake up in the morning and I'm happy I'm alive. Another day, you know?
Yeah.
That is something a 20-year-old does not say unless they're doing a lot of drugs and they know that, maybe in today's day where fentanyl can really get you. Maybe there are some woke 20-year-old, drug consuming kids, but generally that's later in life when
Yeah.
you're thankful to be alive another day. That's just something that comes with experience. When you're young, you're invincible. You don't think about death that much, at least if you're in America, in a privileged area of America. Obviously, there's young kids in other countries that have to deal with death every day, but
Yeah, I mean, as you get older, you begin to like different things more. And yeah, I can see how comedies are not as good as they used to be. But even
they're
looking
not.
at objectively, like I'm going through Rotten Tomatoes website right now, and like there really aren't any good comedies like that came out in 2021. Like these top movies on Rotten Tomatoes, they're just kids movies, and then they're adult movies. This movie won Best Picture in the Oscars. It's called Coda. And this movie, it was pretty good. Like I liked it. I enjoyed watching it. I watched it by myself. So I think CODA, the word is an acronym for Child of Deaf Adult, right?
Mhm.
So it's
Death
a
as in death, or death
deaf as
death
in
as in
deaf, like
can't
actually
hear?
you can't hear. Yeah, not
Cat
deaf.
Williams.
Yeah,
Ode to Cat Williams there.
yeah. So it's like a more of a kind of drama. But then when you look at the rest of this list, like anything that's a comedy is just a kids movie, you know?
And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that we have such access to like YouTube short, all these like short videos and all that. And people are funny. Well, some people are funny. A lot of those are just really not funny. They think they're funny, but they're really not funny. But comedy is something that's more accessible, right?
Yeah.
I can't make a Marvel movie in a YouTube short, but you can be funny in a YouTube short. So comedy is, you're competing with way more now. You make a comedy movie, you know.
Yeah.
The market's saturated with comedy and people who think they're being funny when they're really not.
Yeah, that's a good point. I agree with that. I think there aren't that many people looking for comedy in movies. Like they just they get their comedy elsewhere. That's a good point.
And that, it's so funny that it comes back to this. It was Ricky Gervais, and he was talking to Jerry Seinfeld and a few other comedians. And Ricky Gervais, he's so awesome. I love Ricky Gervais. He said, "Do you ever feel like we're just going to be figured out? Like people are going to realize, oh, like they're funny too." And Jerry Seinfeld, obviously, he's made so much money. He said, "No, we're really funny." And I'm like, Jerry, you're so wrong. Yeah. I mean, I don't. It's easier for me to say that because I do not find Jerry Seinfeld very funny. Um, some of like Seinfeld was good, but it just happens to be like the household I grew up in. It was a show that my brother and sister watched, and I just wanted to play Sega Genesis. So Seinfeld was just something in my way. So I probably have like, you know, those thoughts in my head when I think about Seinfeld. There's some funny Seinfeld stuff. But anyway, Ricky Gervais is like, he's saying, do you ever feel like, that what we're doing, people are going to realize that they can do it? And guess what? It happened. It's happening.
Yeah.
It is happening. People are realizing that they're funny.
Yep.
But they at least try to. And the ones that fail are just so bad.
It is. I mean, even I watched Cat Williams stand up, the most recent one on Netflix, and at a certain point, I kind of felt like when he wasn't talking about politics, that it really kind of lost me because my humor has evolved.
Yeah.
I'm not a Pikachu anymore.
Yeah,
And I feel like
exactly.
he has to do that. Like he still has to do that stuff, which I don't think he really, it seems like he didn't really, like he's like almost trying. Like he doesn't need to do that. You're an old man and you don't need to deal with sexual stuff anymore, but he's still doing it, and if that's what he wants to do, that's fine. But I think his political humor was just great. He didn't have to do that.
Yeah, That's actually pretty pervasive. The idea
Yeah.
that you have to do something sexual. I'm going to venture out into possibly being called a sexist here, but a lot of female comedians, a lot of their comedy, I feel like they feel they need to use sexual jokes, you know, and that they won't either get popular or, you know, noticed if they don't make sexual jokes. And that's why a lot of that stuff is just not very funny to me. Well, whether a male does it or a female, that stuff's just very funny to me.
That's what it felt like watching Cat Williams. I felt like he was like a comedian, one of those female comedians that has to do sexual jokes.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to do that, you know.
I think he has to fill his time. Like if he has like an hour to do
Yeah, it's an
comedy.
hour. Yeah.
Yeah. So he has to fill that time. So he's like, oh, let me put a little 20-minute sex in here. You know. He's not like Dave Chappelle, dude. Obviously, right? That's like unfair comparison. But Dave Chappelle, man, I'm sure he used sexual jokes, but not very much. And like, he's such a goat. It's ridiculous. Like, his material was just too good. He didn't need to rely on that. Another thing, like the crowd, whatever, you know, where you pick people from the crowd and just make fun of them.
Yeah.
That's why I never found DL Hughley very funny. I think when he noticed his material wasn't doing well, he just started hating on the audience. Dave Chappelle never needed that. He's already funny enough. His material's so good, he doesn't need to make fun of the audience.
Yeah, that's what makes him a better comedian. Cat Williams is that he's kind of being himself. He says whatever he wants to say, and that allows him to not pander to any audience, and it makes him better that he's not pandering. So
yeah,
it's interesting. I mean, I feel like a lot of comedians don't have that longevity that Dave Chappelle has because of that. Because at a certain point, they don't want to do the things that they've been doing, you know, when they were younger. So they just stop. They don't, like Eddie Murphy. Like people want Eddie Murphy to do stand up again, but I feel like he doesn't want to. He's done. He's moved on. He doesn't have the energy for it. He doesn't want to do it.
Oh, can you imagine Eddie Murphy in today's age, where if you take any of his stand-up, 95% of it is just not applicable today. It wouldn't fly.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't work. I'm thinking about all these Eddie Murphy jokes from Raw, and it's like one of the first stand-ups I watched. I was like, oh my god, this is something else.
Yeah, he hasn't done a stand-up special in a long time.
I think he made him enough money where he just doesn't care anymore.
Oh yeah, he made so much money.
Such bad movies. My goodness.
Yeah.
He got paid.
Yeah, Netflix is streaming his specials, so he's probably getting something out of that.
Streaming Eddie Murphy's.
Yeah, they're streaming his what they did, at least. I don't know if it's still up, but Netflix put up his stand-up specials on March 2021. Yeah.
Like Eddie Murphy Raw is on there.
Delirious, Raw. Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I think there is some degree of understanding that was a while ago, you know, that in those times people just talk differently. So yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah. Sometimes I don't go into it. Like Dave Chappelle, the issue, the reason he's controversial now is it because of like transsexual jokes. I think that's one of the big things.
Yeah, but he says it like now. He's not. It's not something from the
And
past.
that's what I'm saying, right? Like he says it now, and I don't know.
This is according to TMZ, and Eddie Murphy's in talks with Netflix to do a stand-up special that he hasn't done in more than 30 years.
He probably
Reports
should.
have the deal is up to the $70 million range. But this was 3 years ago. So Dave Chappelle got 60 million for 3 specials.
Yeah, he probably shouldn't do it. I can't remember if this was. I think Dave Chappelle, when he came back, I think did he get booed off stage or something like this one, his return to comedy after going to Africa or something like that. I don't know if Eddie Murphy does stand up like to practice, but if you're out of practice, it's not gonna
he's
go.
out of practice. Yeah, Eddie Murphy performed stand-up comedy for the first time in 25 years last night, and this was 7 years ago. He's not practiced enough, you know.
Yeah. He took the money.
Yeah, he's relaxed, and he doesn't want to get up there and perform poorly. So it makes sense. I don't know if we'll see him again. I was going through a list of the top comedies of 2021, bro. 2 of them are kids' movies. So they look actually pretty interesting, but I'll just put those to the side. There's this one movie that got really good reviews. It's called Shiva Baby. Okay. This movie is about a young Jewish woman who attends a funeral with her parents and runs into her ex-girlfriend and the married man she's having an affair with. Despite a premise that sounds like a sitcom, critics agree Shiva Baby is far cleverer than that. With strong performances and moments and hilariously uncomfortable situations, it's a gripping comedy. Honestly, this looks horrible. Like this looks like something I would not want to watch. I'm sure it's interesting to Ben Shapiro, but I don't care about this Jewish funeral, and it's a comedy. Like that's what it is. Comedy is like that now. It's just awkward, dark, weird comedy. So
The thing I got stuck on is the use of the word cleverer. And it's actually correct.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. You learn something every day. It just doesn't sound very intelligent. Cleverer.
I get it. It's a comedy, but like I just don't want to watch that, like I have no interest in watching that. So I actually watched Crazy Rich Asians. That's a comedy that I felt like made sense to me.
Did you like it?
I actually did like it. Yeah.
I can't watch it. It's hard. I just can't.
Yeah, I like what's it called? I like romantic comedies.
I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
I like romantic comedy.
Torture.
Yeah.
Rom-com.
Yeah, rom-coms. So maybe that's what it is. And maybe I'm not into dark comedies as much. When it gets dark, I want it to be like Joaquin Phoenix dark. Stop giving me this dark comedy. Just go dark.
Dark comedy is good stuff.
It's hard to make a dark comedy. I feel like
don't like
people try, but it doesn't land really well. So.
Or they make it and it's really dark. And people are like,
yeah, and it's just like, okay, well, this is just depressing.
It's not even
funny.
I like it.
Right?
Let's see what comes up in the list of dark comedies. Dark comedy movies. Burn after reading? Dark? Really? What? That's the problem. It's hard to search things because everyone has this subjective, opinion of what dark means.
Yeah. I mean, there are things that are categorized as dark comedies.
Yeah. Okay, IMDb 25 best dark comedies of all time. There we go. Number 2, Wolf of Wall Street is a
That's what I'm
dark
saying.
comedy.
Yeah. It has comedic, yeah, like it has comedic themes, but the story itself is, I wouldn't call it comedy, right?
I wouldn't even call it dark. I don't get it.
It's pretty
It's not-
dark. I mean, these guys are like acting like brokers, and they really are out to like screw their clients. It's sad, you know? They're just
No,
looking.
yeah, but that's what Wall Street does.
It's what Wall Street is, right? So it's
Like a
Wall Street's just a dark place. Yeah.
It's just a documentary, yeah.
It's a documentary. Yeah.
I actually haven't seen any of these movies that come up on this 25 list.
Like, to me, that scene with Matthew McConaughey talking to Leonardo DiCaprio about the markets and how it's all a fugazi, whatever, right? To me, that is comedy, but it's also dark, because what it's saying to you is that the world economy is just a big farce. It's just a big fugazi, whatever, right? So it's hard for people to accept that, like, your ability to buy food, to pay for your kids' medical needs and whatever, it's all based on this sort of just make believe stuff. You know, like, it doesn't really have value. None of this stuff does, right? And that's funny, but it's dark at the same time, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
And they start pumping their chests, you know, they start hitting their chests.
Yeah,
like, they're trying to make you laugh. They're not making, it's not like Joaquin Phoenix, that's a dark movie that has no comedy. There's no comedy there, you know. I don't know, maybe for you, I was not laughing during that movie. I remember watching that. I did not laugh.
No, there's nothing to laugh.
There's nothing to laugh about.
There's nothing to laugh about. Yeah,
Whereas
dark.
Matthew McConaughey made me laugh in that movie. Like, he was doing cocaine. Do you remember that scene? That scene's a great scene.
No, I definitely remember that scene. I just don't see it as a dark comedy, and I guess that's my way of looking at it. And it's hard to pinpoint it. I can see how they define it as that.
Yeah.
Dark comedy. How would I define a dark comedy?
So I'm going through the list on Rotten Tomatoes of the greatest Black comedies of all time. A lot of them are older movies, so I'll see if I can find something a little more like recent.
There we go. Cora asks, what makes a movie a dark comedy?
Do you remember Birdman?
I didn't watch that.
That got a lot of awards. Let's see.
Yeah, a lot of people are classifying Wolf of Wall Street as dark comedy. I guess.
Yeah.
I think when I think of dark comedy, I think something that would be dark, right? Obviously, and then there's comedic elements that just don't belong, but they're trying to be funny. Don't belong in the sense that obviously it belongs in the movie, but those situations do not call for comedy. You know, like something's just so dark and they're trying to be funny.
Like, I don't think that Leonardo DiCaprio should be hitting his chest with someone who's doing cocaine at a lunch meeting about his first job on Wall Street. You know what I mean? Like, that is kind of silly for them to be doing that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, why are you guys hitting your chests and doing cocaine at a lunch during the day? You know?
Wall Street, bro.
It's Wall Street. I guess it's too real for you. I guess you feel like that's how they are. They're all just clowns.
It's like, this is Wall Street. Yeah, I guess that's what it was. It was like
I think a lot of them are not the nicest people. Like, they're not funny and friendly, like Matthew McConaughey's character. You know what I mean? Like,
they're not.
Like, he was really nice to the guy, explaining him things, you know?
Yeah. I think I have a bad definition of dark comedy. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything I'm seeing classified as a dark comedy, just I guess I normally wouldn't see it as a dark comedy.
I wouldn't even say dark comedy is my favorite genre, honestly. Comedies, like in general, I don't really feel like it's easy to do a comedy. I like them when they're done well, but it's hard to do.
It's hard to do. I'd rather just have a dark movie.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like let's just go to
Take
the
out,
darkness.
yeah,
Yeah,
just
let's
go
not mess around.
dark side of the moon. Let's just go there. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just go there, you know?
Like Joker is pretty dark. I liked it. Joker was good.
Yeah. Yeah, and Phoenix is a good he does those movies well. He's a
He does.
good,
Yeah.
dramatic actor. I think even that movie that you mentioned, he got at least nominated for an award for that.
I think so. I think he did. Yeah. He just does it so well.
Yeah,
It
he's a great
suits
actor.
him so well. It's just so good at it. His facial expressions, his everything, his demeanor. I mean, it's just he sells the role so well.
Yeah.
Like Joker, I that's one of the things that really like, you know, that impresses me when I'm watching something and I kind of forget that I'm watching someone acting something and it feels so real, you know, that's obviously the goal of acting, right? Is to make it believable. He does that the best.
Bro, he won Best Actor at the Cannes Film Festival in 2017 for that role.
Oh, you did win, but okay, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's a big film festival. I mean, he didn't get an Oscar for it,
Oh yeah, Oscars are yes.
but he got independent film award nominations, and the Cannes Film Festival is more known for independent films too, and he won Best Actor for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that movie won Best Screenplay in the Cannes Film Festival as well. And
Cannes Film Festival does it seems to like the more artistic stuff.
yeah,
Like
exactly, for sure.
like Thor is not gonna win at the Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
And then obviously he's got Academy Awards. He won Best Supporting Actor for Gladiator. He won Best Actor in I'm sorry, he got nominated for Supporting Actor in Gladiator. Nominated. Then he got nominated for Best Actor for Johnny Cash, nominated for Best Actor for The Master, and then he finally won as the Joker. Yeah.
Apparently Johnny Cash saw his acting in Gladiator.
Oh, he did? Oh, that's cool. I thought he might have died before that.
Yeah, and he picked him to be it.
That's
What
awesome.
the Amazon the little tidbit that Amazon, I actually like Amazon for that. I like those random tidbits of information on the
Yeah.
screen.
If you're getting a little bored with your movie, here's some tidbits.
Yeah, if it's a little too dark, you know, just read some facts.
Yeah, here you go.
Get through the dark part.
Sure. All right, bro. Market's closed. I thought Sahil would show up.
Imad's on here. Ahmad's listening to our podcast.
There we go.